What Virgos, y'all see things in a different way. Okay, the light be red all day, but in your mind that shit is green.
Hello, black hole. See this brother winning, man. Hey, dude, what is it, win, big? What is it, win, big? What is it, win, big? Kansas City.
Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's looky would be our Michelle Red Lip. So let's get into this book, Bobby Womack's My Story from 1944 to 2014. This one won't be an audio, y'all. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Sly had got his shit together in 1967 when he created the Family Stone. There was Sly's brother Freddie, his sister Rose, Larry Graham on bass, Greg Errico on drums, and a couple on horns, Cynthia Robinson and Jerry Martini. They'd been cooking some dope-fueled shiz for a while, and that was why Jim thought Sly might be good for me. I was still young, but really didn't know who I was. I had just fallen from a crazy marriage, and I was about to get into some more crazy shiz. Child, is that what you call it nowadays when you marry your mentor's wife and then hunch his daughter? Is that what it's called? Okay. Oh, let's not forget the part where the mentor's wife tried to turn his ass into a swinger. Okay. I thought I was close to burning out as a man. The plan was to be around another musician my age, someone I could work with and be inspired by. Get back into the music. Plus, Sly was a Pisces, same as me. Okay, how many times do I have to tell you people, okay, that the creators of the universe, the creators of all things beautiful in the universe, whether it be art, music, poetry, whatever it is, the creators are always Pisces. Okay, now y'all be nutty as a fruitcake. I can't lie. I don't know what side of the street you walking on today, but you all have the capacity to radiate beauty like no other. Me and Sly met for the first time at an Italian place. We got cozy in a couple of booths right at the back of the joint. Sly in one, me in another. He turned around and asked, "You Bobby Womack?" "Yeah, man." "Are you Sly?" I found out early on that Sly was two people. First, there was Sylvester Stewart, who was pretty cool, generous, creative, a genius musician. Then there was Sly Stone. He was the destructive character. Sly was the kind of guy who liked to start fights just to see people go crazy and get tripped out. I was the guy who liked to put fires out, make everybody cool. We were alike in that we were so whacked out together. Sly was the little black sheep of the family who broke loose, and when he started to do something else, it wasn't nothing like church. He became a DJ in Oakland. Shout out to Oakland. Y'all mighty powerful around here in these music streets. I see that. The story went that he had a piano in the studio, and when he gave a record a spin, he would play along on the keyboard. Sly would improvise a new opening, middle, or end. He'd tell his audience, "Man, this could have been a hit record if only the guy hadn't let it go flat right there." Then he'd add his little tune to liven things up. People would call in to ask him to do his versions. Damn, that sounds like a hater. I mean, he can, be critical. Like, he could be a music critic because he is genius. But damn, that's a whole lot of hating to me. Despite Jim Ford's warning, I practically moved into Sly's house in Bel Air because I knew it was a place I could hang. As soon as I got over there, Sly said, "Hey, You're a bad nigga. You're a bad mother hunch. Have some coke. He was going to be my hope to die partner. We became very close very quickly because we had our music together. The music was unreal and we made a ton of it together. I worked on Sly's 1971 album, There's a Riot Going On, playing guitar. Sly's home studio was a good place for me to hang my head while the music was on. Everybody in the house was high on weed and coke, or we would stay up all night and play some more, and then play it again. One time, Sly finally did get some sleep on top of his piano. That's where I found him around 5 o'clock in the morning. When I woke him gently, he looked up and started singing, "One child grows up to be somebody that just loves to learn, and another child grows up to be somebody you just love to burn." It was from Family Affair. Sly taught me a lot about freedom in music and life. I was almost pretty impressed with Sly. I thought his music was superb, the best. Man, he never wrote love songs, and I thought I was a dreamer because I did. Let me tell you the dynamic between Bobby Womack, okay, and Sly, okay? Sly looks at him and say, "Man, what the hell is wrong with you? All you ever do is write about love. You know it's more to life than just love and pussy and women's and crimes and stuff like that. You know that, right?" Bobby Womack got mad and was like, "Man, I'm profound. What you talking about? All you talk about is getting high. What the hell is so special about that?" Well, I mean, okay. Touche, my brother. I thought his music was superb, the best. He never wrote love songs and thought I was a dreamer because I did. He told me, "You always write those wrong songs, crying like a baby, always crying. No bitch is going to make me cry." Maybe our background wasn't so similar. "You from a different church, brother," he said. "You just want to believe there's a Santa Claus." Maybe, but I told him that his songs were just about getting high. That's all you ever write. Again, touche, brother. Sly and me, we also toured together. Although that was always a mess because there would be always 30 people all dressed in costumes, some of them trying to pitch for the job I was doing. Sly would spot a guy dressed like Snow White and he'd want him in the band. Didn't matter, the guy couldn't play guitar. Sly loved the attire. I'm playing in a band and there's a guy behind me dressed like a cartoon character. Someone needed to rein that shit in, but it wasn't going to be Sly. There was always some kind of problem. Sly acted strange in hotels. He would always have an enormous entourage, his goons, then everyone else, including the guy in the Snow White outfit. He would get in his room and then take everyone's keys. Tell his security that no one could eat until he did. You weren't even supposed to make a phone call. It was like being in the army. In New York, once I was playing bass, Sly's bass player had left him. His band was always leaving. Sly was out of funds to pay the hotel bill, which was stacked pretty high. Around 10 grand because there was something like 20 rooms to take care of. Sly was stranded. I was stranded. We were all stranded, hadn't eaten for something like 3 days, and the hotel was on our ass. I offered to call Wilson Piketty. See if old Wicked Pickett could bail us out. Wilson Piketty was no fan of Sly's. Why? They both do the booger sugar. He told me to leave him alone before my career got ruined. But this was a jam. "Piketty, I'll pay you back when I get back home. I promise. Sly just needs $10,000. Child, let me tell you what happened. Oh my God. Could you imagine this? Child, I needed him to expound more on this story, but child, what happened was Piketty came through. Now, we already know that Wicked Piketty got an attitude problem, right? So he came through with $10,000. Okay? Put the $10,000 in Sly Stone's hand. Do you know this motherfucker Sly Stone said to Wilson Piketty? "Man, why you ain't show up 15 minutes ago?" "Huh? You ungrateful bastard." So Pickett came by with the cash and handed it to Sly. "Sly, I don't know why he wanted to create a problem because Pickett already didn't like him. Snatched the money out of his hand and snapped, "You fucker, you! You should have been here 15 minutes ago." Child, the look on my face, child, oh my God, I would have snatched that shit back out of his hand and smacked him with it. Problem was, he couldn't wait until the gig was over before doing the drugs. He didn't mess with nothing but booger sugar, but when he found out you could cook it, he became a chef. Sly said, "It's hard to wait. I just do a little bit and then I'm going out on stage." He tried to turn me on to his way of thinking too. Said it was expected in our line of work. Bullshit the baker man. Bullshit the baker man. Do you know how terrible Sly Stone's reputation is? Remember that episode of American Soul? I don't know if you guys ever watched the show, but it's a good show. I'll probably add the playlist to this video because DC Young Fly did an excellent Sly Stone. I mean, it was amazing. Sly said it's hard to wait. I just do a little bit and then I'm going on stage. He tried to turn me on to his way of thinking too. Said it was expected in our line of work. He thought I was too square, he said. "Bobby, if the man told you to turn up at 9 p.m., you would be there at 8:30. I don't know. I'm sorry. What's the problem with that? What's so wrong with that, Sly? I don't know. Slickety Sly. That's his name. Slickety niggity Sly. But let me tell you a little something about show business. It doesn't work like that. It's what you don't do that gives you mystique. Okay. Don't be available all the time. Don't always be there, child. He could not make it in the land of the social media. Because if the peoples don't know all your businesses, then they don't want no parts of you. I couldn't understand that. You came a long way out here with this whole band. I've reasoned. Everybody is waiting on you. And you are sitting, looking out the window, watching the people walk in. He would watch and laugh at some of the straight dudes lined up with their dates, pointing out their unhip gear. Man, it was like he hoped they hadn't bought tickets to come and see him. Who did he think they had come for? The funny thing was, Sly was actually convinced he never missed a gig, nor was even late for one. Child, them drugs. Them delusional drugs that you Virgos be taking. What Virgos, y'all see things in a different way. Okay, the light be red all day, but in your mind, that shit is green. That shit don't be true. The funny thing was, Sly was actually convinced he never missed a gig, nor was even late for one. Bobby, he told me, see what happened? The people got there before I left, so they have to wait. It made no sense. He would still be backstage, and I'd tell him, Sly, they've been waiting for hours. But I ain't missed a gig. He got high and it made him paranoid. And that's when I knew. First, it was cool. Then it got to be too much. You can't do all the drugs and go out in front of an audience. It's a serious thing when you walk out on stage. Music is spiritual and the audience can tell if you've started tripping before they have. What the hell? What that mean? I don't be tripping when I be going to concerts. I don't, because just in case a nigga stop pop, but I got to get the hell out of there. Ain't y'all seen the Woodstock? What is that? Woodstock, what was that? 1999, something like that. That shit was terrible. Y'all, please Google that thing on Netflix. That shit was terrible. Okay? That's why I need my wits about me, child. They was around there selling water bottles for $28, y'all. I ain't lying. It was a mess. But I liked Coke, so shiz. I got high after I came off stage. That was the way it worked. I had some kind of system. I didn't get high before an interview or a gig, but when that ended, the night was mine. Again, Sly didn't subscribe to that philosophy. He said, F that shiz. Okay, slickety Sly. Okie dokie. Sly had a little gangster thing going on. I don't know why, because Sly was definitely no tough guy. There were always guns lying around, and he, child, hold the hell on, y'all. Let me tell you what he used to do, and these dum-dums would do it. I don't know if they did it because they were high or they saw it as a challenge. Now, give me 2 minutes, right? Let me tell you something that I learned from talking to the OGs from back home. right? So because 640 was trying to get their reputation as being the roughest and the toughest, right? What they would do is they would get their fighting skills up. So these little boys would go down to one of the, originals' basement, and they would fight each other. I don't understand you ninjas. Are y'all crazy? Because me and my girlfriend ain't fitting to fight each other and then go bag of potato chips. That's not right happening with us, right? But with them, they would do that. They would slug it out, and that would be cool. I guess like brothers, because in actuality they were. They would fight each other just for, let's say, practice in the times that they would have to fight other crews or other blocks or something like that, right? So I get that. When Sly would say, I need y'all to fight each other, it would be for entertainment. For Sly to see who was the biggest, the baddest, and the strongest. Huh? We fighting because you told me to? Ninja. Come on now, bruh. What is that? Y'all know what that remind me of? One of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. Now, I'm still mad at him because he loved to exploit the black vagina. He loves us, okay? But he got the propensity to be a Weinstein, if you know what I'm saying. But Django is one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. My favorite movie of all time with Quentin Tarantino in it. God damn, it's so many. Y'all, what's your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie? From Dawn to Dusk with George Clooney. Reservoir Dogs, of course. Pulp Fiction, man. He got so many good. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He got so. I can't even give you my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. What is y'all's favorite Quentin Tarantino movie? But it reminds me of the scene in Django where the character that Leonardo DiCaprio was playing had his black men fighting, and he was betting on it to see who would win. That's crazy to me. And whoever the loser was didn't make it out there alive. The music began to take a back seat. I started to see all the bad shiz go into the music. It was scary. When we made music, it wasn't happy anymore. It had a dark side to it. The girls and the gear had taken a front seat. And the gangsters, they were sitting right there next to them in the passenger seat. I saw things slowly falling apart. Then Sly went to jail. Y'all remember that time that Etta James got Sly Stone in trouble because Sly Stone had an old chop shop around the corner and had accidentally wrongfully, stupidly gave Etta James the Cadillac, and Etta James and her boyfriend was running around here pulling stunts in the Cadillac. The people's like, where'd you get the Cadillac from? It came from the Sly Stone. Then Sly went to jail, busted. I reached out for him, and whenever he went to jail, I went and got him out. I'd fight for him. It was the needy helping the needy, because that's what they do. I heard he had got a doctor or a psychologist to cop for him while he was doing time. Sly's method was to challenge the guy, tell the doc that he would never be able to understand a guy like Sly unless he'd gone through some of the same stuff. So this dummy, it don't matter what your degree is in, honey. Dummy comes in all ages, social statuses, education, classification. Sly Stone convinced the psychiatrist, man, you don't understand me. How you gonna understand me when you ain't never experienced crack before, brother? Until you experience crack, you can't get on my level. I mean, he got a point, but the psychiatrist is the dummy to try. Sly's method was to challenge the guy, tell the doctor that he would never be able to understand a guy like Sly unless he'd gone through some of the same stuff. And that meant taking the same drugs. Oh, you dummy, you. How can you talk to me about drugs? He was supposed to have asked. You never saw a drug in your life. If you knew you'd try it, he demanded to be treated by someone who could relate. All along, he had the doc under the desk doing a rock, and Sly dished out the therapy. The doctor also switched testing bottles so that nothing showed up in Sly's piss when it came around to screening for pharmaceuticals. I knew I couldn't be around Sly much longer.
All the
already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way down. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves, you babies, y'all better have a good one. Peace.